Wahoo! Wahoo! Nope.
Nope. Still
not there.
didn't
All right,
get it.
I'll leave it
Still
alone.
didn't get it. It's okay.
That's fine.
So tell me what you thought.
The simple version of my explanation is I liked this movie.
Okay.
This was a fun movie.
Cool.
This was a great time.
Yeah.
I really don't have a lot of complaints, other than the fact of I don't really know what they were doing. They were just kind of doing things to do them.
Yeah.
There was no purpose for what was happening. But here's my backup to that.
Okay.
This movie is for children.
Yes.
This movie
100%.
is for little kids.
Yes.
Little kids are not going to the movie theater looking for beginning, middle, and end, and plot points and character development and the right script and the perfect dialogue. They don't give a rat's nothing about any of that.
I agree.
They want to go for funny stuff, for silly characters,
Yep.
for race car driving in the sky,
Yeah.
and things blowing up, and video game action.
Yep.
And guess what? That's exactly what this movie is. This movie
Like,
is for kids.
To a T. That's what it is.
And I love this movie because I'm a kid at heart.
Yeah. Yeah.
When Toad pulled up in his like giant, I died. That was hilarious to me.
Yes.
It
I
was
agree.
so funny. I audibly laughed out loud because I thought that was funny.
It is funny.
Okay? Because it's little Toad. Like,
Yeah.
there was just so much enjoyment in this movie.
Yeah.
And the reason I say that, or the reason I'm loud,
The reason you're
the
passionate
reason
about
I'm
it.
passionate about it is because there's been a lot of hot debate on this movie as
lot of
to
hate.
why critics don't like it.
Yeah.
This movie's not for you. This movie is not for the critics.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I'm not going to claim to know everybody's life. A majority, I will say. I'm trying to word it correctly. The majority of you have never played a Mario game. They just haven't. That's my
okay.
belief.
Okay. Of the people that
Of
don't
the
like
people
the
that
movie.
Are like, well, why is there no story development? Because this movie wasn't made for you, Grandpa. It was made for my little brother who's playing it on his Switch right now.
Gotcha.
Who paused his Switch to go watch this movie at the theater.
Yeah.
And then came back home and got back on his Switch to continue playing Mario Odyssey. Or
Yeah,
whatever he
whatever.
was playing.
Paper Mario?
That's who it's for.
Yeah.
So I understand the critics like, well, this was dumb. Well, what was the point of this?
Yes.
There wasn't any point of this. I saw that there was. I didn't know what was going on. I'm like, okay, so they have a mission and they do stuff in between.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
But the stuff in between is just to like show you stuff from the video
just
game.
to show you stuff from the video game.
Yeah, that's it.
But
yeah.
it was for the kids that are currently playing, and it's not even for me who played Mario on the N64
Right.
in the 90s. It wasn't for me.
Yeah.
It's literally, I believe, for the kids that are currently right now playing Mario on their Nintendo Switch.
Yes.
It is for those little kids.
Yeah.
That's what I believe. So the critics that are saying this is one of the worst movies I've ever seen, this plot point is that, I'm like, yo, I lost so much like responsibility and respect and like understanding of what I thought you were because you said this is one of the worst movies you've ever seen.
Really?
Yes. And I'm like, that's not valid at all. And even the
That's
worst
interesting.
part is because this person has a strong following, people go, oh, I'm not going to see it then. You said it. Now I'm not going. I don't want to go because you said it.
Gotcha.
And I think that's so wrong.
It tainted.
I think that's so wrong. And then to be like, well, I'm just saying, like other critics are saying it's bad. Well, yeah, look at the audience score. And I hate the Rotten Tomatoes thing. I hate it. I hate that people are going to judge a movie to go see it or not to go see it based off Googling Rotten Tomatoes and looking at a percentage because that is wrong.
Yes.
That is so the wrong way to decide if you want to watch a movie.
I agree. But
The audience score, like, go and read some of them. Hey, saw it with the family. My kids loved it. My nephews loved it. My daughter loved it. My 3 boys loved it. My girls loved it. My nieces and nephews, they all loved it. It was cool. It was fine for me, but the kids loved it. The kids loved it. The kids loved it. The kids loved it.
That's what
Guess
you're
what?
saying. Yeah.
They made this movie for the kids, not for the adults.
Okay.
Not for the
Yeah.
I had a good time. There were some funny moments. I loved the Rainbow Road stuff. I loved him like trying to eat the mushroom. I loved the going through the. I loved all of that. It was fun.
It is fun.
And I'm like, this movie's fine. I left the theater. I'm like, cool. That was I saw it in RPX.
Yeah,
Had me a
so-
small popcorn and a
Nice.
small soda. Saw it after work. Cool. That was a 90 minutes
yeah.
of my day well spent.
You had a good time.
Yeah, I noticed some other stuff, but guess what? That 6-year-old that was sitting next to me, he didn't care.
Yeah.
Dude
loved
was
it.
having the time of his life in his hat, like jumping around. Like, I'm like, dude, I'm so glad, little guy, that you loved it, because you're the reason that this movie got made. It wasn't for me. It wasn't for you.
Right.
It was for that little guy and his brothers and sisters. And they went home. They got on their video games and continued to play because they love it.
So I'm going to piggyback off of everything you're saying because I completely agree. And I don't want to repeat anything that you said because I do agree with everything you're saying. So I want you to keep that in mind as I'm telling you what
Okay.
I think about the movie.
Gotcha.
I always say this about movies when I'm rating them. What was the movie trying to be? If it was trying to be something and it was successful at being whatever it was trying to be, then the movie to me is a success.
Yeah.
If it was trying to be a kids movie and it successfully became a kids movie, then it's a success.
Yep.
Okay, but if they were trying to make a movie for adults and then it failed,
Yep.
then you would say, okay, that was a bad movie. Where I get bummed out is that the people that are taking those kids to the movie is the generation that got Mario this far in the first place, that got Super Mario Bros. To
Okay.
where it is today.
Okay.
So I would have appreciated a better movie made for me because, and actually it came from people a little bit older than me playing the original Mario on the NES. But I still think that making a movie for those people who are then taking their children. So think about it reverse. Think about a movie that was actually made for those people that had moments in it for kids.
Yep.
I think everybody was hoping for that movie because they're the people that played the game originally and they're the ones taking their kids to go see this movie. And you could have easily made a movie for those people.
Yeah.
And I agree with you. They didn't try to make a movie for those people. They tried to make a movie for the kids.
Yeah.
It worked out very well. I
Yeah.
took my 7 and my 5-year-old and they absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
So again, the movie was very successful at what it was trying to be. But on the other side of it, I really wish they didn't make this movie the way that I wish that they had a different plan. They had a plan. They executed it. It landed.
Yeah.
They accomplished exactly what they wanted to. I wish they started with a different plan from the get-go, which was to make a movie for the 30-somethings, 40-somethings, and then they're taking their kids, and there's some kid stuff in it in there for them. And the other thing is that I wanted it to be more of a video game movie
Yeah.
versus a nod to the video games.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
I wish it was more of a let's just start at Mario 1 because they gave us so much in this movie. They gave us you could have had a movie called Mario Kart and you could have done a whole movie about racing,
Yeah.
right? But instead, they say let's make one Super Mario Bros. Movie where we jam pack absolutely everything into it. And then we really don't plan to make more than 2 or 3 of these things. And then we're done, right? But you could have had a whole entire franchise where you started off with these characters and then branched off and did Mario Kart in a totally different way. You could have had Mario Party you could have had Super Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
You could have really done a certain really awesome thing with the Nintendo universe. But instead, I feel like they just gave us so much up front.
Put all their eggs in one basket.
Exactly. It's Easter soon.
What was that? Yee. That wasn't even all right.
Talk about trying to do something and failing at it.
Yee.
Yahoo!
I didn't see it that way. Which is good because
I understand. I get it.
I didn't see it that way at all.
I get it.
Because I don't think I put the same thought into it as you did.
Okay.
Like trailers wise.
Sure.
I'm like, oh, cool, like a kid's Mario. That was like my mentality from the get-go.
I get it.
From the
absolutely.
start.
I get that.
Because I never thought that I needed anything because I just thought I was going to get it. I'm like, oh, it's a Mario movie. That's great. So that's an interesting take that you're like, well, it wasn't for the people buying the tickets, which I really like. So
Exactly.
That calmed me down a little bit.
Well,
which
but
is good.
again,
I was hot.
I want you to keep everything. I want you to keep everything you said in mind because I feel the same way that you do.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed this movie. I thought it was a lot of fun. I'm not mad at this movie at all.
Yeah.
I just understand that there was a different, but the mistakes, or not, I shouldn't say mistakes, but where this movie goes wrong is back in the boardroom when they're coming up with the ideas on the whiteboard.
Yeah.
That's where the mistakes are made. The mistakes are not made in the execution of making this movie.
No, because they've already been given their marching
Yes.
orders. This is what we want.
Absolutely.
Go do it.
And that's exactly what they did.
Yeah.
It came from
I
the
agree.
initial thought of making this movie and deciding what it was going to be.
Yeah.
That's where the error occurred. And then that's it. Once you choose a path, that's it. That's the path you're on, and you go until you finish execution.
I agree. That's true. I didn't think about it that way.
So I
didn't think about it
agree
that
with
way.
you. I understand this is a kids movie. That's what it was trying to be. It did a good job of being a kids movie. I wish it wasn't a kids movie.
Yeah.
Is my only thing.
Okay.
And I also think that they wasted a lot of potential on the first go, the first attempt.
This movie is definitely one of those things we could pick apart
And I don't and
and
it's-
talk about for an hour.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
you know.
yeah, yeah. But
But it was good. I had a good time.
what do you give it?
I think realistically, like a 6.
Oh,
7,
okay.
A 6 or 7.
All right.
Yeah.
So see, I was gonna go 7. 7
deal.
is my rating. So
Good deal.
give it a
Let's
7.
Still both passing.
Yeah, exactly. Go watch it. It's fun. If you want to just smile and laugh, go
Yeah.
check it out.